And you're very welcome along to episode 5, or is it 6? I can't tell, of the Dadcast. If you're one of those Dadcast subscribers who's here for the Dungeons and Dragons Dadcast, well then, obviously the dungeon is living with a 3-year-old and the dragon is your 4-year-old. You're in the right place, or maybe you're in the wrong place for the Dungeons and Dragons podcast. How are you, gentlemen?
Episode 5, Ger.
Episode 5.
What's Dungeons and Dragons?
Dad, D-A-D.
Okay, but what actually is Dungeons and Dragons?
Really? Do you not?
I'm much
It was a cartoon, wasn't it?
No, but that's what I mean. In modern times, is it some sort of a online game or something? That
I don't know if it's online. I mean, I presume it is at some level, but it's still
real life.
It's a strategy game that people play. It's like the
Minecraft for adults?
I mean, I think you can get into it as kids, and Minecraft is also for adults, right?
Is it?
There's probably a bigger market for that, though. Like, if we did a few minutes at the start just talking about that to lure people in and pretend and then, like, just wander into what we're actually here to talk about. After a while, the numbers will be great. Like.
Not that different from real life. It's like, oh, parenthood is grand when you kind of see one of your friends have kids. You're like, oh, no, it looks great. It's like, It was like you talking about...
I want me one of them.
Yeah, and then you get one, you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, this is relentless.
Do any of your kids play Minecraft?
No.
Is my oldest is talking about it. Obviously, some of the kids in his class are. So my understanding of Minecraft is it's Lego, but it's an advanced Lego and it's online.
Dude, I haven't a clue. I literally, like...
So it seems that if you're mad into Lego, which my oldest is, that the next step is to start playing Minecraft, which is an online game that's highly addictive. It's a war game. I don't think so. I think Minecraft's like an online game for, say, I'm going to say 7 to 11-year-olds, but they should be a little bit older, but extremely addictive. Probably for a slightly younger age group than Fortnite.
Yeah. I think a lot of kids spend a lot of time watching people play Minecraft online.
I just want to rescue this very quickly. After the worst opening to any of the shows we've done. Don't delete us just yet. So the reviews, first review so far, really relatable, honest stuff for any new dads. Funny too. Thanks very much for that. At Kev79.
This at Kev79, his birthday was 3 days ago.
At KevM79, happy birthday, Kev. And the next one is Kenobi111111. Great, honest stuff. Keep it up. 5 stars as well. This is fucking amazing. 2 5-star reviews back to back, 5 stars. Thanks very much.
And we haven't even reviewed it yet.
We're on a roll. We're on a hat trick. Why have you not reviewed it?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, maybe that's our Golf Weekly listener. Pro V1 Kenobi.
Yeah, okay. Keep your shit dad golf jokes to the other shit dad golf podcast that you do. And then finally, for the hat trick, the review. Hang on a second. The stars seem to be not coloured in properly. There's something wrong here. Incredibly negative. I'm not sure these people deserve to be parents. 1-star review.
Nail on the head.
Lara O'Mal. Well, Lara, you might be right.
Wow.
You might indeed be right. But here's the thing. You don't need a license. We don't need any... All you need to do is to go get it up once.
Required.
They don't give you a manual for this shit.
Away you go. So look, we are now on Twitter, at DadcastPod. We also already have 251 followers. And they're real human beings, not a sex bot amongst them. Also, my poll that I put up drunkenly on Saturday night about who does the shopping, 46% of the Maz do the shopping, which means 54% are the dads.
Now, is your audience
47%
male skewed, Ger?
It doesn't matter.
Well, I think
actually, it really doesn't matter. I'm just saying, 47% is the man, all the rest of those are dads.
I'm in the 13%.
Dad
with kids.
Oh no, you go dad with kids. I go by myself. I've realised again though, one of the reasons why I prefer to do the shopping. Obviously, there's the alone time, an hour away from your family.
You're better at it.
Also,
you're just better at it.
Well, I am better at it because my wife. I came back last week. My wife did the full shop in Marks and Spencer's. Who spent £7 on a packet of mints?
Well, that's what you get for going to Turkey midweek for a nil draw.
I don't know if that poll says anything actually looking at it there. I can't even follow it. It's
pretty easy. Pretty easy.
It's like there's one category for the mother and then there's 3 categories for the father.
Exactly, yeah.
So
that's kind of the point.
I'm just saying it's
kind of the point.
I'm just saying it's skewed.
Yeah, but 47% is the math. It's pretty obvious. Anyway, it's more 50-50 than people might think. Yeah. So that was that. We're also on Facebook. I think it's facebook.com/the Dadcast.
Dadcast pod.
Is it? Yeah, we'll look it up. Don't worry. That's
search it. It's fine. Once you get through that Dragons and Dungeons.
/the Dadcast. /the Dadcast. Facebook.com/the Dadcast. You can like us there, and we will eventually get around to posting all of our inane ramblings there as well. So it's been a relatively okay response so far to our first 4 episodes. Only 3 of which are live, though, so who knows some of that stuff that Dave said in episode 4. Woo!
Yeah.
But
can we retract episode 4 before it makes its way into the public highway?
It's gone to the conveyor belt already.
The bad news was that Nathan's wife followed us on Twitter. I mean, that was not part of this deal.
No, that's what I said.
The wives hearing this stuff was not part of the deal.
She said she listened to the first 20 minutes of the first one and she gave up. Now, I'm not quite sure I believe her. But I probably just need to say something really insulting and see if I come home one day and she's in a bad mood. Well, then I'll know she's been secretly listening.
That was the end of episode 3, wasn't it?
Well, she'll have to listen.
You may not know it was because of the insult that she was in a bad mood, though.
Well, yeah, there is that. She did say, geez, Dave really doesn't want another kid.
Okay,
that's what most people are saying that I've discovered. It's like, you know.
Everybody just wants the comedic twist of Dave having another kid.
Well, we'll have to stay on the air a long time for that.
All right.
Can I just say that we finished up last week with an unwanted advice section that Nathan told us a story of a lovely middle-aged woman who interrupted him telling that his daughter was hungry because she was crying on the street, and that was very good. And then off-air, Dave told us a story about the car parking spaces. Now, I don't know if like any time I have the opportunity, if I have like any of the kids in the back of the car, even if they're not getting out of the car, I'm like straight into the...
They're amazing spots.
Look at the spot right outside the door. Thanks very much.
You get out of the car and you leave your kids in there.
Oh, no. I mean, if we are... So me and my wife were there last Sunday in Super Value, and she's like, you can't go in there. You can't go in there. You're going to be staying in the car. I'm like, exactly. Straight in. She was getting out of the car. I was staying with the kids. That's a legit, right? But anytime somebody's in there who doesn't have a kid, I'm like definitely staring them out of it going, tutting loudly. Which is about...
In your car with your window.
McIntyre's case, following them around the shops.
Well, when he says tutting loudly, he means in his car with the windows up.
So that's about as far as any normal human being would go. Until... What happened in your story, Dave?
Do I have to tell this story on air?
Did Adrian just completely blasted the punchline for her?
I couldn't remember if we did it on air or off air.
Off air?
Yeah.
I chased her down.
An old woman. You chased down an old woman.
She wasn't old. Well, what's old nowadays? We're old.
Well, this is an important conversation in itself.
Start at the start. Start at the start.
I
don't spare any of the details. We've got a full half-hour podcast here, Dave.
I had the younger of the two rascals with me, and there's only one parent-child parking space in this shopping centre that I went to, literally one. And I was coming into the car park, saw the space empty, and there was a person in the car ahead of me that just made every effort. It's not a direct run into the car park or into that space. You kind of have to back it up, do a bit of a U-turn, then ease your way in. And she just drove into it. And
Mr. Bean style.
I noticed there was no child in the back, and I had... this is about 6 months, a year ago, so like he was barely walking. And the alternative is, because the car park was so full, is to go right down this big hill all the way around the corner, and you're left with 300-400 metre walk back to the shops. And I didn't have the buggy with me. So I just was annoyed. And irked rather than annoyed.
How irked were you? You like beat the horn at her? You wind down the window and go, hell, this is good, I can't.
No stage did I lose my cool or my politeness. I just rolled down the window, buzzed down the window, and I said, excuse me, have you a child with you?
Why did you speak in a very high voice?
When both parties to this conversation were fully aware that this person did not have a child with him, but I felt the question, rhetorical as it was, needed to be asked, and the response to which was, mind your own effing business. So I said, right, okay. Do we leave this now like a normal person and just go on about our business, or do we take it a step further? And I decided to go with the latter option. So I drove all the way down with Adam in the car, and we walked up the hill, and I had seen which shop this person went into, so I followed her in, and I just called her out.
Hang on, you've skipped a few details there. Don't skip any details, Dave. You, eyed her up to watch which shop she went into, drove, parked, pulled the baby out, and are now seething at this point. You're like, she's
no stage was I really seething. I just thought
Were you surprised by the volume of abuse?
This is uncivil behaviour.
Were you surprised?
I was surprised by the volume of abuse.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a scintilla of remorse. There wasn't even a flicker of embarrassment.
What was the actual tone of your voice when you asked her?
Excuse me, have you a child with you? That's exactly how I delivered. There was no threatening or intimidating or.
It's an early bath for you,
remotely boisterous tone to my voice. It was, excuse me, have you a child with you? Mind your own effing business. So I said, okay, I could do that.
We just got to the heart of the matter.
I could do that, or I could take this one step further. So anyway, I followed the person up to the shop, and I, of course, had my, well, at that stage, it was just a mere 1-year-old in my arms, this helpless, innocent little 1-year-old. And I just said, what you did out there was really uncivil and really bad manners, and I'm not sure it's something you should do again, because you took the only spot that is available to people with a child. I've had to carry my son all the way up. I now have shopping to bring back to the car once I do actually go in and do my shop, having had this.
Did you have to say, excuse me, did she ever back to you? Did you walk up to her and go, I'm the lad from downstairs?
No, she spotted me as soon as I walked into the shop.
Right.
And that was it.
Are there witnesses to this?
Yeah.
Who?
The proprietor of the store in question.
Who says what?
She was just astonished that this was happening.
That you were raising an issue, or that she had parked?
No, just like it's not something you see every day. And but she didn't. So she wasn't engaged. She didn't involve herself in any way.
Grand, okay,
Had I begun to abuse one of her customers, she would have been well within her rights to say, "Well, hang on here, get out of my shop. Who do you think you are?"
Yeah.
But there was no abuse. It was just merely questioning and hoping that this person might change their behaviour for any future episodes.
Yeah.
Do you think you have the desired effect?
Absolutely not.
What did she say to you then?
The mind your own business line was trotted out for a second time, and I think she said, I was only there for a few minutes. Well, it didn't really make any odds to me. You were there while I needed the space. And I'm sure she was still there after I'd left, and somebody else with the child may have needed the space. It is a bugbear.
Oh, you could murder somebody who did that to you, and the judge would be like, off you go.
The mind your own business line doesn't really stack up either. Like, that was your business.
Yeah, she had made it my business. Look, it's the exact same as somebody without a disability pulling into a spot for the disabled. Like, if I did that and somebody with a disability was waiting for his place, I would expect to be roundly abused by this person. They'd be well within their rights to have a go at me. Wouldn't they?
I wouldn't say the two are exactly comparable.
No, I would say they're not comparable.
But they're not completely exclusive either.
But if you were to do that, everybody is completely within their rights to have a go if you park in a disabled spot, because you can't do that. It's like, didn't John Terry do that once? Isn't that like
people do it all the time?
The hallmark of him being a complete.
But if you pull into a car mark, and as often is the case, some of the larger supermarkets, there might be 7 or 8 disabled parking spaces, despite the fact that they're all empty. You still wouldn't dream of parking in one of them, let alone go into a car park with one parent and child space and decide you're going to occupy that one because you're too lazy to make the walk up from the rest of the car park.
What about if you're pulling into a parent and child space and you have the car seats in the back, but you don't have the child?
No.
Because how do they know?
They don't know. Well, I mean, nobody would ever. You could get away with that. 100% you get away with that.
But you do that?
No, never.
Do you do that? Oh my God, look at you. I can't believe you do that.
That's essentially what you did.
No, I didn't. I had the kids in the back.
But you weren't getting out.
I had the actual kids in the back.
I know, but you weren't going anywhere. There was no benefit.
Yours is a grey area.
Yeah, they're total. I mean,
yours is not.
Well, I guess you see, if the kids are in the back, you may need to take them out for the toilet, and you need to be near the store.
No, totally true. Yeah,
you had no intention to go out. You with the radio on.
I might have had to go out. Who knows? At least I have kids. I have actual kids.
You were playing.
You have no kids. You just have these like.
I'm talking about often if I pull in and I have the kids in the back, I'm looking around like you are to see, is everybody here meant to be here? And then you see somebody pull in. You're like, oh, they have a car seat. Maybe their husband.
Geez, you're a couple of busy little bollockses, aren't you? They do.
No.
Jesus, like I'm sniffing around for trouble. Like, it's not even as if it comes your way. Both are like,
hang on,
cock sparrow out the window here, looking to see if
trouble comes your way when all the parking spaces within that car park are occupied.
When the woman that you talk to pulls a gun and goes, what?
There's always that risk, although less so in this country. I wouldn't pull a similar stunt in the States, for example. Anyway, do you, like, at no stage was my voice raised in any threatening manner. It wasn't an intimidating moment. So I feel it was handled in a polite way.
What was Adam saying when all this was going on?
Sure, he thought it was great crack.
Daddy's going to get in a fight. Finally, all that work that he's been doing on his upper body is going to pay off.
But you accept you also made a mistake in not bringing the wheels of the buggy with you?
Yeah, I mean,
you were exasperating the situation.
Look, in all honesty, I was perfectly happy to carry him. I was only grabbing an item or two.
So you were just looking for a row?
And you were like,
I wasn't looking for a row. I'm not confrontational at all.
You did say earlier on, sorry, Mrs. I have to go into the shop here and I have a lot of bags to bring back to my car. But like in reality, it was a newspaper and a drifter or something.
Possibly. Now, there is a question I've asked myself, and I'm not sure I should ask myself this question with you guys here and with our listeners.
I think we should go for it.
Now I think we've got to go for it.
Had the person involved being a 6'5" male,
would you have done the same?
Would I have done the same? Or was I only willing to do so because it was a middle-aged woman?
Oof.
That is, I don't have the answer to that question.
Why would you be more willing to do it because it was a middle-aged woman and not a 6'5"?
Because I was less likely to have the shit beaten out of me.
No, I was looking for clarity.
Which doesn't paint me in a very good light if the answer to that question is no.
I think you're entitled to wind the window down and go, come on, look, I have a child. Yeah. You have no child.
Well, look, that's all that would have taken place if she hadn't sworn at me after the fact. There was nothing I could do about it. She was in the space. She wasn't going to move. If she had just said, oh, look, I'm really sorry, I didn't realise I'll be back in 10 seconds, or what are you going to do? I'm already there. But the fact that she just abused me, that was the reason I just said, you know what, maybe I'll just take this a step further. Any listener experiences that are shared and have experienced similar to that, please do get in touch.
Are you also,
I've been rambling for the last 20 minutes.
Are you also Larry David in your spare time? Then email us now, dadcast@offthewall.com. Adrian, you wanted to talk about pregnancy snoring. Does your wife listen to this? She's the only currently pregnant wife.
She's threatening to.
That we know of.
Yeah. And from listening to the last 4 episodes, I'd say that's a certainty. She is threatening to listen to it, but I don't think she really got that far yet. Yeah, I've been warned, sort of. I dropped this into the WhatsApp group during the week as a potential discussion point. And
how bad does it get? You were going to record it last night.
I was going to record it last night. Like, look, I might as well just go for it, right?
How many weeks?
Hang the consequences. How many weeks are left?
How many weeks is gone as your wife?
Well, we've 3 weeks, just less than 3 weeks to go, so whatever that correlates to. But it's chronic. It's absolutely chronic. Like, absolutely chronic. The last time it kicked in with about, God, there must have been like 4 months to go, to the point where I had to move out of the bedroom. Like, and even at that,
4 months ago.
4 months to go in the pregnancy, the first time around.
So it's like a common thing, and it doesn't exist the rest of the time?
No, not at all.
Wow, that's mad.
Not at all.
So you've made it to 37 weeks this time.
Yeah, which no. To be fair, no, it's been on the go for the last 2 or 3 weeks. But it just, I thought we were going to get the whole way through. But I moved out. I went to the next bedroom the last time, and it was still like there was a train rambling by close by.
Oh, he's a dead man.
And it's pretty chronic. Like, it's tough to sleep. It's sort of any bit of a nudge or sort of a slight kick or whatever, it will result in
assault charges.
In it temporarily shutting down, but not long after that, it's underway again. Look, it's tough. It's not easy to sleep with it. And at the minute, I don't really have any.
Does it wake your wife up? Does she wake herself up?
Very, very occasionally. And how it doesn't wake her up more, I honestly don't know. Because even just so outside of the physical action of the snoring, because to create the noise that she's creating, there's a serious physical impact. But like the sheer noise of it. Imagine if you're asleep and somebody came along with one of those air horns. If you could, even if it's you that's making that noise, what I'm saying is, even if the physical capacity the vibration that it takes you to make that noise doesn't wake you up, the sheer sound of it should surely make you go, oh, what? Have we suddenly moved in next door to the Euston Station? So that's what I'm dealing with at the minute. I'm sort of...
So you're in the spare room?
No, what I've started to do is fall asleep on the couch. And I'll generally wake up then about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and wander on in. But like, when I go in at that point, it's in full, like the train is in full steam. It's not easy. I appreciate that. I mean, my wife is over 9 months pregnant, and things.
She's sleeping though. She's sleeping soundly.
Oh, like a train. Yeah, literally sleeping like a train. So yeah, I mean, it's sleep on the couch, or we've only the other bedroom. The child is asleep in it, so it's like...
So you've no spare room anymore to escape into?
No.
And are you a snorer? Like, is this revenge in any way?
No. It's just it seems to be a thing. I mean, doesn't by all accounts, you're not forthcoming.
I can't remember. I
think you would remember.
No, this time I don't remember the night times being as bad as previous. I used to always get annoyed by that. Any of your wives with that giant pillow?
Yes,
like
we
a
have
life-size pillow, which means every time she wants to move, the entire house has to move with her. So she decides, I'm just going to twist here. And by the way, you're probably moving out of the bed at the same time. It's like, oh my God, you wouldn't help me just turn up. I'm like, It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Of course I will. Of course I'll help you. But I always like the 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm just going to go to the spare room. Oh, it's so nice and
so hang on a second.
Quiet.
Your wife would go to the spare room?
No, I would go to the spare room.
Okay, I was going, Jesus.
I never had a problem with that. It was, fine. Little bit of peace. But yeah, those things are just a
the
pain
giant
in the
pillow.
ass.
We've one of them in the bed at the minute, yeah.
Oh yeah. There's no room for.
Well, you have to try and hold your ground as much as you can. Really, that's the.
So when you're doing the little nudge, you're sort of nudging the pillow, which sort of lessens the impact.
You're just reaching out to make whatever contact you can on the basis that any bit of a disturbance stops it straight away, and she'll go. I mean, I do appreciate that I'm getting killed after this, right? That's understood. And I've already gotten so far down the track, might as well keep going.
In general terms, the greatest thing about your wife having a baby is that she's not pregnant. That is the best part. For her in particular. Because it's not easy being pregnant, I suspect. And then the baby arrives, you're not pregnant after that. It should get easier. And it does in a lot of ways, I guess. It doesn't in other ways. But the snoring won't last so long.
What?
Snoring will only last so long.
No, to be fair, it does disappear after... It doesn't disappear immediately, I don't think, but it does disappear after a short period of time, yeah. Look, there are greater issues in these entire... It's not people that go through...
Well, listen, if you're sleep deprived... If you're sleep deprived, that's a big issue for you, Adrian.
Yeah.
You know, you're just not yourself.
I think you can cope with most things as long as you sleep, with my experience.
Yeah, sleep deprivation is a killer. Eamon McGee, the former Donegal footballer who actually had one of the most relatable tweets that I had seen in a long time. I remember him talking about getting a people carrier and how that was essentially the end of his life. He's like, it signifies going to buy a people carrier. We had the same thing. Like,
what's a people carrier? 7? Scenic.
Yeah.
Because that only holds... Now we're thinking we might have to get a bigger car again.
Oh, yeah?
3 kids. Well, what size car have you?
Well, they've got the Scenic, but there's the seat in the boot.
Oh, no, we don't have a seat
one of those Ford
Espressos
or the Citroens or...
Yeah, any of that. Like, I remember sitting into it the first time and turning on the indicator, and the indicator is so loud. It just has like an old high-ace van indicator.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh my God, look at this.
Wake up the child.
Like, I will. Like, it was that loud. Our eldest cried when we said goodbye to the first car because it was like a nice, comfortable kind of, this is a nice car, and she was bawling her head off when we were like moving to this one. I was like, I feel your pain. I'm not normally as attached to things, but like, yeah, so definitely. But Eamon McGee, anyway, his tweets were, listening to this podcast is good therapy for anyone in the midst of the madness, great stuff. And I was like, oh, you should come on. He's like, oh, I'm not sure about that, but I can give the lads a good recommendation for the snip. I think he was like also saying he was glad that we brought up the twins because I think he has twins.
Yes.
Yeah, the snip was the thing that got the most recognition from the people who have listened to it. They were like, that is a conversation that's happening a lot at the moment.
Ray Darcy's had the snip. I heard him talking about it on air the other day.
Very good. Yeah.
This wasn't a private conversation. I was
like, wait till I tell you who went.
You met him at the Imros and you were like, here, listen.
We're doing this dad pod, he tells me. And yes, they were discussing getting the snip. I thought it was quite timely considering we'd literally spoken about it the week before.
Oh, it's almost like they were ripping our idea off.
Well,
but he went and got it done himself recently. Or was that like years and years ago?
No, well, I think he has youngish children, so it's obviously in the last 3 or 4 years. But they'd also had a lot of people on his show that had it reversed.
Yeah.
That actually the percentage of people who have it reversed seems far higher than I would have thought.
So how easy is it?
To get it reversed?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that easy. I think it's quite painful.
It's probably like even the idea of calling it snip is probably bullshit. Like the snip suggests
they snip off your Mickey.
It's absolutely done. Like
you got a little sub left there. A little Donald Trump left. But that's not it.
So what are you saying? As we said, it's not a snip. It's more a
tying of the tube,
twisting, and then they try and untwist it.
God.
Ooh. Go on, Dave. I thought you were getting it.
I haven't done anything further about it since our first conversation.
Are you going to?
We haven't had any offers of Dave getting it for free.
Can we get like a sponsored segment?
Well, no, but could you do it and then come back and tell us what's going on?
He will film it.
If we are a multi-platform organisation, that's the way we do things now. When I get it done, I'll be perfectly happy to discuss it on the Dadcast. How it went, the whys and the wherefores, painless or painful. I have no problem going into the gory details.
A meeting set up with somebody in the last short while, and the meeting was all set up for this time in the morning, blah, blah, blah. So it was a conference call. And I got an email from the guy that morning saying, listen, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm going to be absolutely honest with you here. I've just been in for the snip, and I was sort of under the impression that what was going on, it was the most honest response to a meeting cancellation I've ever had. I was expecting that I was just going to bounce out the door, get back about my day, and he was like, but look, to be honest with you, I need to go back and sit down for a while or whatever. There was some sort of
put a bit of ice on my groin.
Uncomfortableness, yeah. So I think it's mild, but
that's why Ray Darcy was talking about. There was a text in that somebody had a car crash on the way home from getting the snip. They said, which was awkward when the person's mother came to visit him in the hospital and people were coming because there was damage all over, basically. But he shouldn't have been driving, I think, was the bottom line.
You not drive?
Well, he should have taken
public transport.
Probably a little bit woozy.
Good to know. I'm sure the doctor advised that person of that, though.
Mick Foley from the Sunday Times was also in touch. As a father of 3 boys from 4 down, I'll listen to this for as long as I can bear. A topic for next time. A man in the same trenches as me recently said, there is no social occasion enhanced by the addition of children. I shook his hand, and I include their birthdays in that. Yeah, birthdays. Birthdays. So we go to lots of different birthdays, and the best ones are the ones you can drive and drop and disappear.
That's all of them.
Yeah. And there's few enough that are in people's houses anymore. Like, but there are some, and they're brave. But I don't know. Like, there's a stress level around the whole birthdays thing that, like, if we do this thing, we can have lots of people. If we do this thing, it's going to be a small group. And then knowing who to invite.
There's a social sort of awkwardness.
Tightrope,
right.
I would say.
In terms of the kids in the class.
Yeah, who gets to... She doesn't know who she's friends with.
Yeah, but they do not have a straightforward rule in all the schools where you either invite the girls, or if it's a boy, you invite the boys, or you invite everybody. Or that's if you want to give your invites in to the school.
But you have a small school, right?
No, there's still 28 in the class.
Yeah.
So the rule is, if you want to invite just 5 people, you're not allowed to bring the invites into school. You have to invite them separately.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that the invites are tended to be done by WhatsApp now.
Do these parties start in junior infants?
Oh, hell yeah.
Have you...
straight off?
You've had no parties?
Only ones we organise in the house with family and a few friends and their kids. So, but they turn out to be absolute carnage.
Ours started in creche. There was creche ones, like... Yeah, and so then, like...
Like what age creche?
4, yeah. The 4th birthday party would have been
an absolute psychopath for parties. He's born in May. He's talking already about exactly where it's going to be, who's going to be invited, what presents he's going to get, what he's going to do when he goes to Smith's. He's 5 now, but he had to have a 4th birthday party last year for his little mates in creche as well.
Yeah.
It's a bloody nightmare.
Where did you go?
We went to some kids' play area and they just ran riot on a Tuesday afternoon. There was nobody else there. I hate kids' play areas.
But you can keep it to a 2-hour thing, can't you? You put a limit time.
Oh, yeah, 2 hours, yeah.
Which means everyone just pick your kids up because I'll be bringing my kids out, and that's the end of it.
Yeah. Whereas, but you also then, you see, if you do that, so that's just for their 20 mates or whatever, you generally then end up having some sort of a party in the house for your family. And then all your relations bring their kids, and suddenly you're having another party with like 14 other kids running around the house.
Like not like
yeah, we've had many of those already.
God, they're the worst.
Oh man, you guys are all ahead of you. Oh yeah.
Family birthdays
are
good
fun,
week, but the clean-up is just...
That sounds like...
We don't have that many other kids for those, so like, we have a few, but it's fine. It's grand. Like...
At least you can have a drink at them, but still.
Well, I do remember standing in the living room looking out into the back garden. There was at least 12 kids in the back garden, and I had a drink in my hand, and I was just looking out at the scene unfolding in front of me. It was like a scene from Braveheart, and I just thought, this is going to happen twice a year, every year for the rest of my life. It was a good day, though.
Wait until you get into making school lunches.
And then somebody's kid trips over the wall or something, and there's a massive bump.
15 years.
School lunches is just a couple of Sambos and a Capri Sun.
Until they decide they don't like Sambos and Capri Sun.
Dave, there's no way your kids are eating bread and drinking sugary drinks.
There is no way you're giving the kids bread. There isn't.
Yeah, they'll be having salads and protein shakes.
Well, it'll be a smoothie, and the bread will be brown with no butter.
A smoothie? What sort of smoothie?
An innocent smoothie.
Kale.
They have beetroot in their smoothies now. And carrot. They still taste very nice. Well, so the lads say.
Somebody answered back to Mick Foley's going, no social occasion. What about christening? Like their own christening.
No,
not always.
How does the newborn enhance that social engagement?
What if they're a wriggler? I was at one once where the child being christened was 2, long story, and did screaming laps to the church. Didn't bother me, mind. I won't even start on the crack at the function afterwards. Yeah. So you should make on.
That story, I presume, was they had to get it done to get them into some sort of an educational facility.
Wow. We could talk about that too.
I remember one of the christenings, I just literally brought the child for about a 3-hour walk in the middle of it, just to get the hell out of it.
The child that was getting...
There's no amount of time I wouldn't walk with a child in a buggy, not to have it in a public situation where it's crying.
Was this the child that was getting...
Yes, it was getting christened.
Whatever, yeah.
Just get the hell out of there.
Right.
The child is of no benefit to anybody. Screaming down the pub.
The most egregious meltdown that our eldest ever had was when she was about 3. It was like we were around Christmas time and we were in Brown Thomas, and she's literally on the floor, bang, 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 screaming her house down. Sean Cronin just walks over. Like he just happened to be there, kind of looking down. Like it's like, all right, was kind of stepping over politely, going, "That's all I had of you too." It's like, great.
Just name dropping now, are we?
Yeah, in Brown Thomas.
Yeah, I was going to say. Wow. Just in Christmas shopping.
2 quick more tweets. Colic and reflux, the first is a combo of both, says Adrian Graney. We never had colic. We had reflux pretty badly.
We haven't had to deal with either of those, thankfully.
Definitely had one of them, but I can't remember what the problem is. It's not pretty.
The colic seems to be the thing that kills parents because
that's you can't tell what it is, and it's just
there's no sleep. There's never sleep. There's that.
Is colic basically that they can't get their wind up? That it's constant.
I thought colic was like a catch-all phrase for something that they just couldn't quite put their finger on.
You guys chat amongst yourselves there while I Google colic really quickly.
And what's reflux then?
Reflux is where the food comes up.
Keep anything down.
There's a valve in your stomach that sort of keeps the acid in your stomach, and sometimes when that's not quite functioning correctly, bits of acid.
Okay, so
it burns their insides. Like
infant heartburn.
Yeah, colic, also known as infantile colic, is defined as episodes of crying for more than 3 hours a day for more than 3 days a week.
So vague, something.
Often crying occurs in the evening. Doesn't result in long term, but I've heard of people who've had it for years.
It doesn't say physically what the cause is.
No.
God,
it says what the result is.
Sounds like it's up there with pregnancy snoring.
And then the last one for today, Ross Horgan says, you desperately want them to play sport, any sport, but they have no interest. When do heartbroken dads give up, or do you just try for another child? Cry laughing emoji.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
That's a big one.
Yeah, well, if you give them the opportunity to play everything, and if they've no interest in anything, well, eventually you just have to try and find what they do have an interest in.
They might come back to it as well, right? Like
we've had that.
Particularly once they start school.
Yeah, our eldest is not the sportiest. He sometimes has an interest, sometimes doesn't. Went to football last year, didn't particularly like it. He's not competitive in any way.
Did you make him wear his Mayo jersey? Is that one?
Well, there was a bit of that. There was a bit of that.
Did you really? You brought him to training. You made him wear his Mayo jersey.
He's very proud of his Mayo roots.
Oh, come on.
He went to school last week. He
doesn't know anything about his Mayo roots.
They were having some dress-up day in school, and he said, I want to dress up as a Mayo footballer.
This was a Halloween party.
That is perfectly fine. And he went in his Mayo jersey. It's a South Dublin school. They're big into the rugby. The Friday of the All-Ireland final, Mayo against Dublin, he was the only one wearing a GAA jersey. Literally, not one single Dublin jersey.
Have you told him that they haven't won it since 51?
Well, he pretty much understands a lifetime of pain is coming his way. He does like the dubs, but he's not competitive with sport. He just doesn't care. He just likes to go and have a chat with his mates. But then he spent all summer playing football out in the green, and he went back last month, and he's delighted with himself.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Ross sent that in, did he? Don't give up. And even if they want a little hiatus from it, that's no problem. You can always bring them back to it again. Like, I don't know what age his kids are, but like if your kids are 5 or 6, there's an awful long way to go before they will permanently turn their back on whatever sport it is. Then go down the individual sports route. Give them a tennis racket. Give them a sawn-off golf club.
Give them a sawn-off in case they're going to the shopping and there's somebody in the
See if they're a bit more self-centred and want to play an individual sport. Tennis racket, I haven't given our fellow one yet, but I assume getting to flake a ball with a metal object as hard as you want has to be appealing.
We have golf clubs and hurls in the back garden, but I just know that it is like a repeat trip to the hospital once a month as soon as they get them out and get into it. Because the middle one was swinging the hurl the other day, and the little one just walked right behind her. Oof. She swung. He missed by an inch. She swung back. He missed by an inch. It was like one of those cartoons where you're like, and
I've got a great little Herlog, it's called. It's like it's
plastic.
Soft. No, not plastic. It's like I don't know what the material is.
It's like a hard foam.
But it's soft. Yeah, like a hard foam.
It's not degrading at any point in our lifetime or your children's lifetime or until the planet actually burns.
The man flails around like he loves it. He hasn't a clue what he's doing, but he has his Peppa Pig ball and he has the Herlog, and it's an interesting combination. And he's lapping her up.
Yeah,
I'd highly recommend it.
And when the second one arrives and he's walking around with the Herlog,
he'll be flailing at the child.
Yeah,
what do you do actually? One thing that we're concerned with that you might have a bit of advice on is the child is
kick her out the bed, Adrian.
So back to snoring. No, but this lad is like he's trying to climb and he'd pull and drag and he's like not satisfied with leaving anything to be. And I'm going to assume that that's going to apply to the new baby. So who'll be in a Moses basket around the house that I'm absolutely certain he'll want to punch in the head or like pull on the ground or whatever. What is there electric fence you can put around, or what's the
shouting loudly?
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I've done consistently for the last 2 months. Yesterday I walked in and the middle lad, raving lunatic, was having a little game because he loves his little baby sister and wants to play with her and wants to get a little smile and a little laugh. So he was playing a game where he was jumping over her. So she was lying in one of those little play things that she looks up and I don't know if that does anything for their senses at all.
Music things.
But his thing was he was running around the circle and then literally jumping over her to see could he make her laugh.
Did she laugh?
This lad is like stocky.
He didn't land on her and she laughed. Everyone won.
Except for me, who's sitting there going... My wife's like, stop telling him to stop doing things. Let him do something. Because I'm just like all day, leave her alone. Leave her alone. All he does, I just want to hug her. I'm like, yeah, but she's in the middle of her bottle. And he's like squeezing her and the vomit is coming out. I'm like, would you just leave her alone?
Playing the match referee or separating one from the other is just... something that you probably spend more time doing than you do anything else. Sometimes it's endearing. You can see they just want to play, and as long as no one's suffering any permanent physical damage, you're happy to let... It's like a referee letting a game flow.
Yeah.
You know?
How much head pucking is allowed before you step in.
Like you might let the first couple of fouls go.
Yeah.
Might not go to his pocket until maybe the 60th minute.
There's the pained cry and there's the, I'm not really enjoying this, and then the pain cry happens.
And then there's the blood being spilled.
Like I couldn't figure out yesterday though. So say he's jumping over a 8-week-old child. Like if he lands on her, is this a learning experience where she toughens up and she gets used to her two brothers, or is it permanent brain damage?
You probably have to be still alive for the experience to be learned. So I'd maybe leave it an extra couple of years until she's a bit more durable.
Permanent brain damage thing is like you have a terror of it because the skull hasn't knitted together.
And that's the like you're dead right with. That's the problem with the Moses basket. She's asleep in the Moses basket. He comes over and sort of lies on it. And I'm like, if she goes flying off this, just...
And this lad, I'd say he'd only be able to just peek over it, so he'd be probably inclined to pull it over. You haven't really answered my question.
And just think when they take up...
And, being eagle-eyed is probably your best weapon.
Right. Adopt the Nathan approach with the black card at the ready.
I would, yeah. Like, I only put someone in the sin bin when absolutely necessary because the spectators are come to see a good game.
Yeah.
Well, what age is?
Con will be 21 months, I think.
Okay, see, it's hard. At least with ours, we can kind of go here. If there's little bits of Lego and you see her near them, you take them away and they can assume some sort of responsibility.
Yeah,
they want to think they're doing something good.
He has no sense of anything other than I want to pull, drag, draw on the walls.
and my life was pretty good until you came along.
Herlog, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, he's. This will not be a welcome addition to the Barry family.
He's the least excited about it already. Like, I'm trying to encourage him. So I got a book. I went down to one of the bookshops up there, and I got there's a baby arriving, and we'll sort of tell you the story about how this baby arrives and how everybody reacts to it. And
a man loves a woman.
Fucking clue what's going on, obviously.
No.
But I have. So I'm getting him to sort of try and gently rub Wing's belly or whatever. Thump, thump, thump. Thump, thump. I'm like, no, look, gentle rubbing. Thump, thump. It's like, oh, shit.
You'll do the usual that everybody advises you to, buy a present from the baby.
What do you get, like an Xbox? What's the...
But it doesn't really matter what it is because the effect of it lasts 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And then the present's forgotten about and they're looking at this imposter going, why is it taking all of my mother's time?
And is it just a case then of just like crack on and what
Well, you in particular need to pay even more attention to him than you already do.
Okay.
That's definitely something. And any visitors that come to the house, be it like parents-in-law or aunties or uncles, encourage them to go to him first.
That's a good idea.
As soon as they walk in the door, make a really big deal of him, even when they're meeting the newborn for the first time.
Yeah.
Given what a momentous occasion that is. Yeah. Make sure that you just had a word with them. Look, as soon as you walk in, just make a massive fuss of con.
That's a good idea.
only then maybe turn your attention. If that happens every time they come in for the first few visits, it makes a massive difference.
Good idea. I'm having that.
Did it make a difference?
Yeah, it does. It does.
It's not like give the first one like
you're not kicked to the curb immediately, like.
No, but it also kind of like, ooh, I'm still the big dog around here. Look, I'm the king of this little. And that's like, a sense of entitlement.
He's going to feel that he felt he was the big dog anyway, regardless of how much attention was paid to him by others. It's just, look, everyone, it's self-preservation. You're being ousted here, pretty much. Yeah. You're going to do what you can to retain your title to the throne. It's just the way of the world. Particularly if it's another little boy that's come into the house.
What sports are you? You haven't given them any individual sports stuff yet. Have you done the swimming stuff? Or?
No, well, he's learning how to swim, and he loves the water. Hurling tonight, actually. Football.
Tonight? Of an evening?
Yeah.
What age is he?
4.
Right. It's not bad.
6
well, you have to get like 3 sessions a weekend and then the game of the weekend starts.
Exactly. And I assume he's looking after his gym sessions on his own. Plus we've also imposed a media ban. But,
keeping the head down.
That doesn't sound like
football on Saturday, and I think I'll bring him to a tennis court in the next few months or so. Plus there's dance class, song and dance on a Tuesday. He sees that his bag as well. And the rest of the time he's just spent building Lego and obsessed with Cars, the movies, and all the chief protagonists from that. So our days are busy. They're filled.
Yeah.
But the sport thing, park run as well. It's a lovely way to kill a few hours on a Sunday morning. It's pretty much now
everywhere.
Dublin-wide. I don't know if it's country-wide. Maybe our listeners can let us know. But we go to the one in St. Anne's there between Raheny and Clontarf. 2K run on a Sunday morning. Hundreds of kids there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And you
go every week?
Most weeks, yeah. You invariably meet someone you know, so you go for coffee afterwards, and that before you know it, it's midday, 1 o'clock.
That's a great idea.
And you've got half the battle won.
That's a fantastic idea. Geez, a lot of parenting, but it just strikes me about killing time, isn't it? It's like
all about killing time.
That is the next few hours.
Yeah. 7:30
How am I
to
going to get through this?
Right.
A 12-hour window. How do you fill that? Where everybody gets to 7:30, and they are just tired enough so that they're in bed asleep by 8, giving you an hour or two to have some dinner with your wife and watch something.
Quite excited about the idea of, unreasonably excited about the idea of killing a couple of hours at one of these runs.
Definitely. Well, you're leaving the house at 9 and you're not back till 12, half 12.
Wow.
You've already taken over 25% off the clock.
What plans do you have for your paternity leave? How long are you taking?
Oh, well, don't go to Tato Park, whatever you do, because you'll be hearing about it for the next 6 months.
I'll probably take the same time as Nathan, about 3 months. And I'll probably just go and sort of... Nathan seemed to...
I'll tell you what, Adrian, I'll call you every second day.
Nathan seemed to go to Vegas and sort of my plans are... I don't know, I was just saying to Wayne actually last weekend that for the first child we'd done a whole bunch of stuff to mentally and physically prepare ourselves for the fact that this child was coming. We'd done absolutely nothing, and we were with such a short time to go. I was kind of saying, Jesus, we might want to sort of get our head in the game here a little bit.
What stuff did you do mentally?
Well, we took physically, so you've to get all the stuff, right? You're starting from scratch, whereas at the minute we obviously have a whole load of stuff. And mentally it was, I think I talked before about the woman that came in and sort of talked us through here's how to have a sort of birth on your terms or whatever. So that was a session a week for whatever, 4 or 5 weeks. So you're starting to ask the questions and get your head in gear about this child this is going to happen. Whereas now it's been sort of running to a standstill, I suppose. We're going to arrive in, labour's going to happen, the child is going to arrive, and we'll be...
And then everything will just take care of itself.
Look, I'm sure it will.
Do you know what you're having?
No. Not
so when you're in there and you have a little boy already, so a little girl pops out and you're thinking, isn't that just the most amazing thing? I have a daughter and the family is complete. Little boy pops out and you're thinking, I've literally just been saved about 10 grand. This kid has just saved me 10 grand. All the clothes in the house he can now wear. Yeah. All the toys can be worn. All the DVDs and the videos and everything that the first guy liked will probably be liked by the second child. So either way, you're a winner.
I had a very strong thought before child one arrived that I wasn't into the idea of sort of putting pink clothes on a girl and blue clothes on a boy. I was going sort of colour fluid, whatever they wanted to do, happy to go with it. It sort of goes out the window, doesn't it? It's between presents and...
Yeah, you don't...
all the girls' clothes being pink and all the boys' clothes you want to buy being blue.
You don't have a huge amount of control over what comes into the house from others. I don't know, do your kids have a very gender-specific view on the world already?
Oh,
my fella definitely does.
I'm definitely
Yesterday he told me he didn't like girl babies. Just liked boy babies. And I was like, why is it only boy babies? He says, well, because I love my little brother. He's a boy baby. I said, okay, yeah, good start. And what's the other reason? Oh, because I just don't like any of the girl baby toys. I only like the boy baby toys. And what are they? Cars, superheroes,
a lot of
monsters.
Shit.
A lot of the what?
Girls' toys are absolutely shit. Like the gender stuff is inflicted upon you, and you have to beat it back at the door with like on a daily basis. We handed over a lot of clothes to Nathan because he was obviously having a girl, and we had a lot of girl stuff. Not a single thing that we gave you was something that we bought, so it was all very good quality. I
was just having that conversation with you. The amount of stuff we got from you and we got from one of my cousins, and it was all
that was stuff you said you put in the skip. Oh no, sorry, I mean
unbelievably good quality, but all pink and purple.
All pink. Yeah. So we didn't. At no point ever would I allow any of the pink stuff to be bought, and it wasn't me allow. It was like a deal that we'd made. It was like, we're not going to be fucking victims of this bullshit where the girls are like, oh, you're going to be like a caring. You know, maybe you could be a doctor, maybe, but probably you'll be like a nurse. I'm like, fuck off. The books they get are shit. The toys they get are shit. The way that they're spoken to about stuff is absolute bullshit, and you have to push it back every step of the way. Like, it's much easier for the boys just to accept stuff. Like, so we were at the launch of the 20 by 20 thing this week, and the woman whose idea it was said that she was inspired to have the idea when her son and her daughter were going out training one Saturday morning. It was raining and they were late, and she was getting the clothes on, she had to get the wellies on, she had to get the gear ready, and the daughter said, I don't really want to go. And she was like, fine, that's fine. Look, it doesn't matter, we'll get her into ballet or something. But there's no way I'm letting him drop out of sport.
Yeah, it was her own unconscious bias.
And like, an unbelievably strong woman who is like clearly trying to not fall victim to what's going on. And it's hard to like, so there's so many different instances where training will be cancelled for girls in various sports if it's raining. The lads will be, go on, get out there, you gotta go and do it. You're like, what does this fucking make? Send them all out. Send them out together. But anyway, that's a slight tangent. The gender thing, like, you have to be awake to it from the get-go. And like, I know you're not supposed to say you only become aware of this when you have kids, but like, so much of your life it's kind of just around you, and that's your own bias, and it's also the fact that you have the benefit of being a white male in a middle class society, and like basically life is handed to you on a plate, and all you have to do is dream what you can be. Whereas a lot of people don't have that, and women in Ireland don't have that at all, and haven't had that. So certainly, I feel pretty strongly about it.
Thanks for all the pink clothes, though.
I know, I'm sorry, but they're good.
They're great. I was just saying, the big difference with having a girl is literally the amount of presents you get quadruples, I would suggest. People have been coming back to our house with a second present because they've gone to the shop and seen something pretty.
But the toys, the makeup of the toys is far more influential than the clothes they're wearing, I would have thought.
Also, we get Lego and we get sports gear, and like we get as much of the but at the same time, so a doll is fine, right? And like our boy plays with our girls' dolls all the time. Like, so it would be good if masculinity wasn't just crashing cars and guns. Like, so there's no guns in our house; they're banned for now, and like we're going to try and keep them out as long as possible. But you got to try.
What about swords?
Like
that aren't Hurleys.
There was a plastic one, but it broke in a day, and no one cared.
Right. So we should probably get rid of the lightsabers.
Well, lightsabers are a science toy, really, if you think about it in the right way.
What's the science behind the lightsaber?
Well, they were invented in a galaxy far, far away. A long time ago. There was one last thing.
They can chop you in two, though.
There was one last thing about this. I was reading a piece in research for the 20 by 20 thing from Forbes, and girls as young as 6 are basically subconsciously being told that they're not going to be as good at maths as the boys, that that message is being transmitted to them, and this follows through to like 20% of the jobs in STEM, science, technology, whatever the E and the M stand for, maths. 20% of those jobs eventually go to women, as opposed to it being a 50-50 split, which is complete bullshit.
Is this by their teachers that have been given this message?
By everybody, all the way along. By the lads in their class, by parents who are kind of like, look, it's okay if you're not, do you push maths as much with your girl children as you should
really?
do?
Why wouldn't you? I never
I don't know.
Aware at all there was a
I'm definitely
distinction
expecting my daughter to be smarter than the two boys.
Yeah. Besides, the amount of times our second fella has been dropped on his head, and he's only 2, There's no way he's doing honours leaving in the mats. There you go. Honours leaving in the mats. His father was dropped on his head as well, multiple times as a child.
We really shouldn't ever let an episode go by without getting a crying update from Dave, if I can make that as a suggestion. What made you cry over the last week?
Have I cried in the last week? I don't think so.
That 20 by 20 video on the other morning, it was Monday morning, it was very early, and it was the girls talking about sport, and they were like, I want to be a footballer, I want to do this, I want to do that, and it was like four, they were all Irish, and they were all kind of aged between 6 and 9, and they were talking about their role models, and it was all Pogba and Messi, and then they were asking them, what girls, sports people do you like? And the girls were like, I was like, oh no, this is terrible. We ruined our lives. We ruined our role models.
Dave, where's my tissues?
I wanted to cry at times on Saturday night and last night watching the Republic of Ireland play, but I managed to hold back the tears.
Right, episode 5 is in the books. Dadcast at offthewall.com for your complaints. You can follow us on Twitter at the Dad Podcast something or other. I have it right here.
Dadcast Pod, is that right?
At Dadcast Pod is the Twitter handle.
I should probably follow it myself.
That'll be good, Dave. Yeah, thanks. You're
bring that number to 252.
If they started following us, Dave,
/the Dadcast.
Yeah, true.
Right, that's it. We'll see you next week. Good luck.